Good morning, wild ones. We are going to talk about the running stitch today. I'm going to show you both doing a walking and a running stitch. So I've got my needle through. I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to do running stitches on the diagonal this way. And I kind of like to think about it with my needle. Sometimes I'll just lay it out like, okay, I know which way I'm going. I did these this way, and then these were done really big this direction. These were done pretty small, so I'm going to go for medium. And a running stitch, or a walking stitch, is just a running stitch one at a time. So I'm going to pull it through. I've got my working hand pinching this part, which is for me is my left hand, and my needle hand with this part. So I'm pulling it all the way through. That is one walking stitch. Now I'm going to go back up next to it. This time I'm going to try to line my stitches up. So I'm going to go up one, pull it all the way through, back down one, pull it all the way through. That is a walking stitch. So you're going to have the full bulk of your thread on either side every time. To do a running stitch, I'm going to reset by pulling it up. Got a little bit of the inside. I'm not sure. I used another piece of fabric as my middle fabric for this little sandwich, and I think it is catching just a little bit with this needle. So I'm going to go up. So I'm ready to go. Now I'm going to position it so that I can put my needle in. I think you can see that just a tiny bit. Now I'm going to rock it back out by bending the fabric back down. So now I have one stitch on and the next stitch above. You could stop there, but I'm going to go in again, which means I'm going to fold again. Oh, I'm going to pull it all the way off. I think it might be easier just to do it like this. In, out, in, out. And you don't need to dramatically fold it. You can literally just kind of poke it through, poke it back through. So now I have one stitch, two, three, and this is the beginning of my fourth running stitch. Now you can see it. So all of these were ran together. 1, 2, 3, 4. I kind of think of it like skipping a rock. I'm going to go back in. Now I'm going to travel farther down to make my next row. So that was the end of my row. And I'm going to go back with a running stitch, and I'll show you just kind of a quicker selection of how I do it. 1, 2, maybe aren't going to line up perfectly, but that's okay. It's a little easier if you put a thimble on to push that many stitches through 3 layers, but I really like the running stitch and I love how it looks. But I also like the walking stitch when I'm really trying to get meditative and do like really intensely perfect work. I might just do a walking stitch back and forth. Or if I'm really tired and I just want the easiest sewing possible, I'll do it that way. But probably my favorite running stitch is actually a back running stitch. So this first stitch, I'm going to push to the back side of where my thread came out. So I'm going to do a backwards running stitch, which is a back stitch, and then I'm going to go forward with a run. So get that same couple lined up on my needle. So this one was formed backwards, so the thread now, if I pull it, will only pull to this back stitch. So I'm going to finish this run with a back stitch by going back towards my last stitch. So this is the last stitch in the run, and I'm going to put my needle in between that and my thread. That's a running back stitch. So it's back stitched here. This is a back, looks exactly like a run. This is a back, looks exactly like a run. But neither of those will allow the fabric to bunch up within the run. I'm going to do the same part. So I'm going to start out a little bit farther where I want my stitch to end. Go up. Now move my thread so you can see. Start behind where my thread is and then come out on the other side for that first running stitch. Now I'm going to come out. So this last one, I should have left a little bit more room, but that's okay. If I wanted to do a back stitch, I'd have to go in between these two. So, oops, I'm going to do actually a running stitch over, a walk over, and then do a back stitch here to start, because I just messed that up a little bit, but that's okay. Stitching is all about the learning. And I love filling the centers of these little, I call them my Teesha Pockets. Teesha Moore has a great lesson on this on Tracy Moore's YouTube channel. But these little pillows are so fun to make, and I just love filling them with back stitches. This is a back stitches or running stitches. This is a running stitch, but a very tiny top. It's almost called like an invisible run, and you really see them on the back of the piece. But I love that look. And then this is a cross stitch, but done with, I used the fabric bits and pieces that are in my coleslaw, like my tiny, tiny, tiny pieces of waste fabric, and stuffed the pillow with that. So this is a much thicker and firmer quilted material versus just 3 layers of fabric. But I like both looks, and hope that this running stitch was helpful. Have a great day.